Good morning, Magic players. Welcome to the morning show where we check out everything Modern Horizons. Modern Horizons 2 spoilers, they keep coming. My God, it's just like it's a Modern Horizons party for like a week already. I mean, it's nuts. So they just keep coming out every single day. Tons of cards to look at. Which ones are going to affect Modern? That's what we'll discuss today. And also we do deck list review. So if you got a 75 you'd like some feedback on, you got some neat ideas using Modern Horizons 2 cards, people are already submitting them. So then this is the place to show them. Both myself and the community would love to check them out and give feedback. So brew up your coffees. Let's brew up some magic this morning. Welcome to Coffee and MTG for June 1st, 2021. I am your host, Nikachu, the Merfolk Master. Good morning, everyone. And good afternoon, good evening to everyone else, wherever you are in this world. Adam, good morning. Good morning, James, Stefano, Thomas, Leontaz, Andreas, Dexter Johnson, Squid Guy, Walter, Mobile Enthusiast, Cody, Casper, Xenix, Frick Curry, good morning, Veltenvosh, LSF, Spencer, Andrew, Trunick, the Scrubbin' Scrubs. Nikachu is never late. Everyone else is simply early. There you go. That's one way of putting it. I would say I am late, though. But you know what? If I'm consistently like 5 minutes late, you can just expect that that's basically when the whole thing starts. Good. But the problem is when I show up actually on time, that becomes a problem. Then there's less people there. Good morning, Aztec Guy, Michael, MTG Box, Spencer, Twincast X, Steve, Manzo, Stefan, Nathaniel, Tom, Tide Shaper, baby. Like, oh yeah, probably it might be a legacy staple as well. Oh my God, so many people. Rogas, did you see Magic Aid's Grief, Solitude, Ephemerate, Stoneforge complete deck video? I have not. What coffee are you drinking? What coffee are you drinking? That's not for me to say anymore. I used to promote them when Coffee and MTG was a budding morning show. But then after I asked for sponsorship, they declined. So I'm not giving any free advertisement, but you can ask other people in chat who are OGs what my coffee is. Yo, what up? I know you're a hype beast right now with these spoilers. I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I wish we got these Merfolk like 4 years ago when Ixalan came out. They could have given us these things a long time ago. I just hope it's definitely massive upgrades to the deck. But I hope it competes with all the other great stuff that's coming out for all the other decks. Did we leave off at Foundation Breaker? I don't remember what we left off at, to be honest. But we might as well get back into it. Yeah, I think we left off somewhere around here. So I definitely remember Bloodbraid Marauder, Foundation Breaker. So Yavimaya Elder. This is a real classic card. This is probably not going to see play. 3 mana 2/1 that when it dies, you search your library for 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put into your hand, then shuffle. Maybe I shouldn't underestimate this value, but it just doesn't seem like, I don't know, it's like it's not, it doesn't feel like it's OP. Like, is this better? Is this a better thing to do on turn 3 than, say, I don't know, Dry to the Elysian Groves, for example? I'm not sure. Nikachu, have you give any thought to Merfolk God we'll put in it? You mean, am I going to use the Merfolk God? 100% I will use that Merfolk God. I'm still sort of waiting for the whole spoiler list to be revealed before I start building a 75, though. Arcbound Javelier. Oops, no, that's not what I wanted to do. It's a 1 mana 0/1 soldier. Remove X1 +1/+1 counters from Arcbound Javelier. It deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature, and it's got modular 1. There's a lot of interesting cards coming out for Hardened Scales in here. Ren's Run Hydra, a green and an X. Reach. ETB with X +1/+1 counters. But you can have Reinforce. Double green X. Discard this card. Put X +1/+1 counters on target creature. Oh, so you can, like... it's like... Reminds me of Blood Rush, I think it was. But that was for an attacking creature. But basically, you can pump up a creature. Inevitable Betrayal would be great. I don't know which one. We haven't reached that card yet. Isn't today the last day of spoilers? I get it might. It's either today or tomorrow. Maybe it is. I feel like you're gonna see some interesting All That Glitters cranial plating builds after the set drops. Probably not. All That Glitters is not that interesting, but cranial plating maybe. Specimen Collector, 5 mana, 2/1. I'm going to assume this is a draft card. When Specimen Collector enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token and a 0/3 blue crab creature token. When Specimen Collector dies, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. No, thank you. Radiant Epicure, 5 mana for a 5/5 vampire wizard. When Radiant Epicure enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast the spell. Tomorrow is the full reveal, so we have one more day. Last day's on Wednesday. All right, we got one more. It's not over yet. Coffee and MTG moves on with the Modern Horizons spoilers. Slag Strider, but like, you know, like when we're getting to the final stretches here of spoilers, there's usually a lot more junk stuff at the back end of the spoiler season. You know, they want to hype people up in the front, get people excited with the big stuff in the beginning. So we have Slag Strider. I noticed like these cards, they're getting more expensive in my opinion. More expensive. So this is like 7 mana. Oh, but it has affinity for artifacts. Pay 1, sacrifice an artifact. Slag Strider deals 1 damage to any target. That's pretty meh. I don't think that'll see play. Rakdos Headliner. A black and a red, so 2 mana. Haste. 3/3 creature. It has Echo. Discard a card. That's not good. Like like I don't even think a 3/3 for 2 mana with haste is even all that impressive. All things considered. And then I got to discard a card on top of that. I mean, I guess it's... Yeah, so My Battle Enthusiast says the Rakdos Headliner seems nice with Madness cards or with Asmarano. Well, I don't know. Madness is not the greatest, in my opinion. Like, I don't know if I want to really play this card for Madness. Oh, we got Old Border Prismatic Vista getting printed. Captain Ripley Vance, a 3 mana 3/2. Whenever you cast your 3rd spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Captain Ripley Vance, and then it deals damage equal to its power to any target. That can be powerful if you get to untap with it, but I bet it's very unlikely that you do. So I mean, like if you get to untap with this thing, it's a pretty sweet picture too. There's someone with a bunch of cannons firing off. You would like kill them on the spot almost. But I don't think this is going to end up being modern playable at 2 toughness. Yeah, I mean, well, maybe it's not even easy to get 3 spells off on 1 turn either. Oops. Is Death Shadow Dex a lot worse because of the white Force of Will? Probably. All those aggro creature decks are going to be worse. I mean, maybe not, because those are still Inquisition Thoughtseize decks. But the fact that a control player has room to tap out on turn 3, turn 4, and have answers to the creatures is really big game. Really big game. So Caprichromo, 4 mana, 2/2. I don't know what this is. Something with modular, probably. Oh, Devour Infect Artifact 1. I have no idea what that is. I'm assuming it's not going to be that great. Oh, we got Goat. Oh, I think this is this the first time there's a Goat? No, this is not the first time there's a Goat. Or is this the first time there's a Goat and that like all goats prior to this were just tokens? I'm just trying to figure out if this is the I remember something to do with GOAT was in the Mark Rosewater's like sort of secret hints to Modern Horizons 2. Mountain Goat existed. Okay, so yeah. Whoops, where's Mountain Goat existed, so Andrew Man asks, do you think that Cascade or at least not Living End Cascade Electro Dominant style decks are getting big upgrades with the suspend cards? I think everyone is going to get big upgrades because of the Cascades. I think more or less there's going to be big upgrades to Cascade decks, both Living End and Electro Dominance, or whoever wants to play with Shardless Agent. Because like for example, Living End can use Shardless Agent, and it's within their colors. Art, I talked about that yesterday. I can talk about it again later. I'm just going to finish off the spoilers. We've got Soul Talisman. Oh, Ipo with the super chat. I used your budget suggestions for my first Modern deck, Healy Company, and went 4-1 at my first Modern night last Friday. Thank you. You're welcome. That's why you come here, get that advice. There's so many budget options out there. It's not hard. Or I should, what I want to say is like, it's okay to play on a budget and you can still get a good result. This is what I want to say. This is what I want to say. Soul Talisman. So we got Suspend 3 on 1. You get 2 mana. So this is a Soul Ring that you have to wait you have to wait until turn 4. Wait until turn 4 and you'll have a Soul Ring. Soul Ring gets put into Modern. Anyway, will be completely unplayable. Completely unplayable. Hunting Pack. 7 mana. Create a 4/4 green beast creature token and Storm. Also unplayable. Inevitable Betrayal. This is a cool card. 3 mana, suspend 3. Search target opponent's library for a creature card. Put it onto the battlefield under your control. Then that player shuffles. So it's like, it's bribery for basically turn 6. Turn 6 bribery. I'm sure it's going to be worse than bribery in a few ways because people will see it coming. So they're like, oh, he's got the inevitable betrayal. We got to go get him. Let's go get the guy with inevitable betrayal. He's not going to take my stuff. I was about to say Primeval Titan, but I know that's banned in Commander. Soul Ring is good with Urza's Saga. No, it's not, because it has no mana cost. Urza's Saga can only grab things with a mana cost, not mana value. This has a mana value. Soul Talisman has a mana value of 0, but has a mana cost. It doesn't have a mana cost, so you're not allowed to grab it. They worded it perfectly. Because otherwise you could grab, like, Lotus Bloom. You could basically grab Black Lotus, you know? Search your library for an artifact card with mana cost 0 or 1. Put it onto the battlefield and shuffle your library. So no cheatsies. No cheatsies out there. Urza's Saga seems pretty good for Titan. It might end up being good for Titan because it gets the amulet, and then they go off on turn whatever. Okay, so we're now into today's spoilers. Blossoming Calm. You gain hexproof until your next turn. You gain 2 life. Interesting. It's like, well, I don't know how useful the rebound is on this thing. I guess it's okay against Storm, but it's definitely it's also okay versus Burn. Because in response to a burn spell, you give yourself hexproof and you gain 2 life, which is more important than anything else. I'll shore up the burn matchup. Sword of Sinew and Steel. This is just a reprint. Why are these images like they were stolen or something? The pictures are not clear at all. Glimmer Bairn. 1 green, 1/2 oof. An oof that looks like it came from the Care Bears or something. Sacrifice a token. Glimmer Baron gets +2/+2 until end of turn. That is an interesting card because it's very cheap. And I imagine maybe some token deck can go all in on this thing. I don't know where you slot this in, but it looks actually like it has a lot of potential. Like, I don't want to underestimate a 1 mana 1/2 that it's like Psychotog, but for tokens, and it costs 1 mana. Good for squirrels. Like, you could play some token generator on turn 2. Make 2 tokens, attack for 5. Yeah, it's new, but it's in the old border. The true story. I don't understand what's going on. I guess they're showing the collector booster one. Dio Brando, inevitable betrayal in mill to cast an Emrakul they side in. No, but it doesn't. Okay, hold on. Does it make you cast it? Put onto the battlefield. That player. Oh, it doesn't cast. So you just put it onto the battlefield. Great sideboard tech. What an amazing sideboard tech that would be. Someone steals your Emrakul. Yeah, but like they might also bring in Gaia's Blessing though. You know, this is a bit janky. It's cool. It's a cool idea if you know that they have Emrakul. But if they have like Gaia's Blessing or some other card, you're better off with just Unmoored Ego. But neat idea. Neat idea. That would be a real blowout. You take somebody's Emrakul. Okay, so Fury, 5 mana, double strike, 3/3 creature. Enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage, divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers, and this has Evoke, so you can exile a red card for it. So basically, you can exile a red card, and this is playable. This is playable. It doesn't hit people, but you could potentially like 4 for. I mean, you could 2 for 1 someone twice in the right matchup, or at least get a 3 for 2. Or 2 for 2 without using any mana. But I don't know what deck wants to play this. Maybe a mono-red prison deck? Maybe it's good in Breach. Yeah, they have a lot of red cards here. And it's a reasonable clock. Like, double strike, I mean, that's 6 damage a turn. That's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, a lot of people will at least shock themselves, so that's a 3-turn clock. Fury is the worst elemental cycle by far. I disagree. I don't like the. Well, maybe it is. Oh yeah, it doesn't have flash. You know what? I forgot. I'm giving. How do I put it? I'm like assuming these all have flash. This one doesn't. You have to play this at sorcery speed. Aaron Forsyth just said that they probably won't be giving a blue Urborg type card because of stuff like Boil. Yes, Flash Fires and Boil, where not even just like they won't complete the cycle. They gave the green Urborg because there is a Acid Rain is on the reserved list and is not in Modern. That sucks. That's royally sucks. But it would be symmetrical. It would be symmetrical. You blow up all the islands with Boil. You blow up your own islands. What's wrong with that? I think that's fine. That's fine. It seems fair. And who cares? Okay, we've got some sort of ban Boil instead. Okay, we got some sort of a Gargadon. Like the Gargadon. Red 5 beast, trample, and it has suspend. Suspend for 2 mana. Oh, but it's 7/5. It's a pretty big creature. Still, turn 6, 7/5. It's not that bad, but it's not that great either. Breathless Knight for spirits. We have a 2/2 flying lifelink. Whenever Breathless Knight or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature entered from a graveyard or you cast it from a graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Breathless Knight. This does not seem that useful, in my opinion. How often is Spirits bringing stuff back from the graveyard? This is for some sort of Reanimator deck. Maybe this is like a missing piece to those decks that are trying to reanimate a bunch of creatures at once from the graveyard, so they bring this back along with a bunch of other stuff, and boom, you've got like a lot of, you have a big army all of a sudden. Is this a great Pauper card? What deck would Pauper use this in? So it's effectively a 3/3 creature, flying lifelink. Maybe it's for a hack-on deck? It is very wordy for a common. Do I not know what Hakon does? Isn't there another Hakon? You may play Hakon from Scourge from your graveyard, but not from anywhere else. As long as Hakon is in play, you may play night cards from your graveyard. When Hakon is put into a graveyard from play, you lose 2 life. Interesting, but you need to get this thing into your graveyard first in order to do anything. You may play night cards from your... And this is a knight? It's a knight. It was built for this creature. Interesting. If anything, I bet this is gonna... I doubt that this is gonna be a modern deck. I mean, maybe. I don't know. You dump a bunch... Like, you have to mill and also cast stuff from the graveyard at the same time. But, like, if you're milling, just play Dredge. Just play Dredge. I mean, you still have the same problems as any other deck. You're weak to graveyard hate. Ornithopter of Paradise. 0/2 flyer. Adds 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. But the catch... And there has to be a catch for an Ornithopter of Paradise. I swear this is something my brother imagined one day. It's like, why don't they have, like, Ornithopters that can add 1 mana of any color? Yeah, it's a Bopter. Anyway, they put it at 2 mana. Apparently, a Birds of Paradise that can... Well, Birds of Paradise that can already fly. Free Birds of Paradises are not that free. Now that I think of it, isn't this just like a strictly worse Birds of Paradise by all metrics, except that it's colorless? Like, it's terrible. It's because it's the same thing as a Birds of Paradise, but it costs 2 mana instead of 1. You get 1 extra. You get 1 extra toughness. And so this is going to be a budget commander staple. This might have been a very exciting card to very specific people. Oh yeah, that 2 toughness matters. That Birds of Paradise is indestructible now. Drazitron? No, I don't. I don't think they're gonna play this card. This card's terrible. No one's. If this sees modern play, I'm gonna be so shocked. It doesn't die to Wrenn and 6. It's busted. They printed the answers. They knew Wrenn and 6 was going to be a big card in the metagame. Anyway, is that it? Maybe there's some more spoilers. No, that's it. So they're a little slow. How about Magic spoiler? Oh, they got some stuff here. All right. Show us your Magic cards. They got a lot of Magic cards here on Magic spoiler. All right, we got hard evidence. 1 mana sorcery. Create a 0/3 blue crab creature token. Investigate. I think this is lame. You know, if it put crabs into play that milled your opponent when you played lands, I could get behind that. But it doesn't. It's just a damn 0/3 crab. Like, what deck can really use a crab? What's with this tiny little crab looking at this dead person? What does the dead person have anything to do with it? Why are tokens blue now? We've had blue tokens for forever. Yeah, so we can play 16 crab now. Floodhound for 1 mana, elemental dog, a 1/2 creature. Pay 3 mana, tap, investigate. This is a very, very limited card. Steelfin Whale, 3/4 affinity for artifacts. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, untap Steelfin Whale. Oh, I guess this is the official picture for Shardless Agent, but we already knew about that one. A green and 4 generic reach, morbid. Funnel Web Recluse. So morbid, when Funnel Web Recluse enters the battlefield, if a creature died this turn, investigate. These investigate cards suck. These are all basically draft cards. Faithless Salvaging, 2 mana, discard a card, then draw a card. Rebound. Not quite Cathartic Reunion level. I mean, I doubt this is going to be seeing play, but like maybe it's I doubt it. Yeah, you need to draw like 3 cards. Well, there are 1 mana ones like this. Well, maybe not with the rebound though. Draft cards, aka popper cards. Limited filler. Yes, limited. We gotta fill that. We gotta fill that draft setup. Faithless salvaging should have storm. Oh god, that'd be evil. Arcbound Slasher, 5 mana modular 4 with Riot. This creature enters the battlefield with your choice of an additional +1/+1 counter or haste. Not very good. Vile Entomber for 4 mana, Death Touch 2/2. Enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, put it into your graveyard, then shuffle. I think we saw that one. And Sinister Starfish, 2 mana, 0/3 with Surveil. Is that it? Oh, we got some new stuff. Got Necrogoyf. I think we looked at this one before. I swear, or maybe we saw a different art. Necrogoyf's power is equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player discards a card. You can madness this thing into play for 3 mana, but normally it costs 5. Echoing Return. Return target creature card and all other cards with the same name as that card from your graveyard to your hand. It's a common. Not as good as Unearth. We got anything else here? All right, so let's get back to what this morning show normally is, and that is a talk show. It's a Q&A show. Okay, so if anyone's not familiar with how Coffee and MTG works, because I think there's a lot of new people coming for the Modern Horizons cards, use 3 question marks before the question, 3 question marks after the question. Helps me find your questions in the sea of comments that I get in chat, because it's just absolute madness here. Raznab says English language are being spoiled now. That's probably the case. That's why we're seeing duplicates right now. So do what Raznab did, and you help get me my attention to answer your questions. Zeagle, you were once advocating for a clock in Paper Magic. Still think the same way with Paper MTG returning soon? Yes. It's never going to happen, but I think that we can play Magic the Gathering with a clock. I have a video on that on my YouTube channel. You have to find it in the playlists. I will not explain everything. The long story short is all the arguments. I'm a chess master. I know how a clock works, how approachable the clock is, how it can be adapted for Magic. All the arguments made against the chess clock are people who do not play chess, do not understand how a chess clock works in that game. The only way they know about the chess clock is through Magic the Gathering Online, and that's not the only way you can set up a chess clock. And also, the people arguing against the chess clock, they're not chess masters. They don't play chess tournaments. So there is and then long story short, for people who do play chess or maybe understand, I think that we should have a delay on a chess clock. There we get like a free 10 seconds with a time bank of, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. And you have a free amount of time every single turn. And then if you go over that, and I think 10 seconds is enough time to shuffle your deck, present it, give it to somebody else. If you go over that, then you start eating up into your time bank, and you still have the round timer at the same time. You still have a round timer, so that it's just the chess clock guarantees one person cannot monopolize the time on the round timer. If they run out of time, they lose. That's my take. Oh, we got shitloads of questions. Echoing Return is draw 4. Return target creature card and all. Well, if you have all 4 of them in your graveyard, sure. But you'd have to get lucky. And it's like, I still don't think it's good value. Do you love me also? I love you too, Mac. I love all my chat. Veltenvosh, will Murpho go back to mono blue? I'll try it. I don't have faith that mono blue will work, because I think we just get destroyed by Amulet just too easily. Also, I don't have faith that like mono blue has enough tools against things like Prowess. Although, you know, I'm moving to blue-white, and I still don't think I have enough tools against Prowess. Squid Guy, what are good Eldrazi Titan replacements for Tron? Eldrazi Titan? Oh, anything else? Like more Planeswalkers. You could play with creatures. You could play with some like World Breaker creatures. Like World Breaker is not too bad to have in your deck, because it can destroy artifacts, enchantments, and lands. So you have some game there. There's a lot of good cards. Just don't play with it. It's just 2 cards, right? The Ulamog. Easily replace that with a lot of other stuff. Time to start build your new Merfolk deck soon? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, if we have one more day of spoilers, if there's no good Merfolk there, then it's off to the races. We're going to see what we can do with these Merfolk. I'll probably make a blue-white version and a mono-blue version. And we might start off with the mono-blue version just to see what happens. And hopefully we can dodge Amulet. You know, honestly, I'm starting to turn around to the idea that I should play Pongify. It's not the greatest, but if it can deal with Dry to the Elysian Groves and Primeval Titan at the same time, maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth it. Do you play EDH? Asked Courtney Tuttle. Yes and no. I play very lightly. I lightly play EDH. Just once in a while with my friends. GP as Tidal Warrior is better than Tide Shaper? Do you know what? I don't think so. I don't know, because Tidal Warrior, you have to tap it all the time. So you're constantly tapping it. You can't attack with it. Whereas Tide Shaper, you can attack with it, and the land is always an island. Also, the land is always an island whether you attack or block with it. Well, I mean, it's got to live, though. If it dies, it's dead. Clock would be interesting. Sushi, bad. Fry, good. What do you think of the Grief deck with Evoke, and have you seen Magic Aid's video on it? I have not seen his video on it. Frankly, I don't care until... I don't really... I really don't go to Magic Aids for any competitive, like, deck building advice. I understand he made the Modern Day Humans deck, but we should also understand that 99 out of 100 of his decks don't see competitive play. So what I'm really waiting for is Magic the Gathering Online to get online, and then the grinders will grind out the best Grief deck. Like we already understand that there is like a blinking ability between Grief. I personally, though, however, I'm not afraid of Grief. Like, you rip away your opponent's hand. I don't know if that's good enough in Modern. I honestly don't know if that's really that great. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm underestimating this card. But in my opinion, you know, it's just like they say, you know, you can't Thoughtseize you can't Thoughtseize the top of their deck. It is good value, though. It is good value. This is a good point. Magic Aids is funny, not competitive. You know, like, for example, like, whatever, like he can make some ideas that, you know, people can, you know, take to the next level, but everyone is aware of the Ephemerate Grief combination. So we just got to wait and see if it's going to work. Shoot. And also, just to remind, if you really want to get your question answered, you can donate with Super Chats. It pushes your question to the top of my feed. Let's see. Sean Ward asked, do you think Modern will become like Standard, where a new set comes out and the archetypes come and go? Yes and no, but here's the thing with Standard is that when it cycles, the deck is definitely gone and it's never coming back. Whereas in Modern, the deck can be the flavor of, I don't know, the year, and then other cards overpower it, disappears, but it can come back with new printings, new bannings. The cards are still in the format, and it always has a chance to return. I mean, Modern has always been changing from the past. It was never, you know, from the beginning, Modern was never like Legacy, where Legacy, you still got Delver, you still got these Dark Depths decks and these Reanimator decks and Storm. Legacy really is like the very similar format as it has been for a very long time. You have some really strong staples there. Whereas Modern, it shifts. It really, the decks don't necessarily die unless they get very specifically targeted to a ban. But like, they wax and wane in their presence in the metagame. You know, remember Humans? It was so popular. Now it's not so popular anymore because it's got a bunch of 50-50 matchups, but it's still there. And hey, one upgrade or one banning of another deck, and it's back in business. It's back in business. They just spoiled Magus of the Bridge. Did they? Oh, fuck. You mean like an ensnaring bridge on a creature? Oh, I got scared for a second. Okay, it's not quite. Magus of the Bridge. Whenever a non-token... Oh, so it's the other bridge. Whenever a non-token creature is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, create a 2/2 black zombie token. Whenever a creature is put into an opponent's graveyard from the battlefield, exile Magus of the Bridge. Look at that. It's a 4/4 creature for 3 mana. That is not bad. That is... Oh, you can't see it. It's a pretty beefy... That's a pretty beefy creature. That's pretty beefy. And we also have Blacksmith's Skill. One single white target permanent gains hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. If it's an artifact creature, it gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Okay, interesting. We're gonna have bridge from, but it's harder to use because you have to actually cast this thing instead of just mill it into your graveyard. Do you think that Flame Blitz is going to heavily impact a lot of decks? Oh, you know what Flame Blitz is. Oh, no, I don't think so. I think it's going to be a decent sideboard card for any deck that wants to use this, but for the most part, it's just going to be a fringe sideboard card. It's not going to be a big player. I don't think it's going to drastically change how Modern is going to be played. Well, it does nail Wrenn and 6, doesn't it? I mean, it just snaps it off. At the beginning of your end step, flame. It's basically 1 red, destroy your opponent's Wrenn and 6. Interesting. Well, maybe it's going to be more playable than I think. Inferior, what's your favorite non-Merfolk spoiler so far? You may have already answered this. Maybe the pitch card. No, sorry. Do you know what no, hold on. It's prismatic ending. I like this card. Chat, like the comment section is just like they're just grilling me on this card. They think it's unplayable. They just think it's unplayable. I think this card is great. I think this card is fantastic. I think it's really good. They think it's garbage. They just think it's absolute trash. Maybe I'm an idiot. I think this card is amazing. I have a lot of faith in this card. All right. Faithless Salvaging. Is Squee Goblin the Bob bait, or is Squee still not good enough? Squee is not good enough. Squee is just never good enough. The problem is if you don't discard Squee, then it's real trash. And it's too slow to like recycle. I agree. This extra time needs to be in Magic the Gathering Online as well. Well, as long as there's a round timer to kill the game off after 50 minutes, maybe that's possible. Noetic, do you think that they are hedging if they will change the evoke mechanic like Companion because they didn't include reminder text like Modern Horizons 1? They don't need to. The evoke is already on a bunch of other former cards. The evoke mechanic is not busted. It's exiling a card for this evoke, it's totally fine. There's nothing broken. There's not a single evoke card. Okay, maybe Grief is broken. Maybe I'm underestimating this card. All the other evoke cards are very fair. Very, very fair. Do you think Modern Horizons 2 is making Modern into Legacy Light? No. Actually, they had a choice in this. They had a choice. So what is the what's the Swords to Plowshares evoke creature? Well, Endurance is like more. Well, Endurance might be broken just because it's a 3/4 flash creature, which I think is garbage. I think it's Solitude. Yeah, Solitude. So here's the deal. They could have put Swords to Plowshares in Modern. They could have done it, but they didn't. They could have put things like Fire Blast. They could have put Back to Basics. They could have put Rishadan Port. They didn't give us Rishadan Port. They gave us Rishadan Dockhand. I think the way they designed these cards, they very clearly made a statement that Legacy and Modern are not going to be in the same. It's not going to be in the same category. Like they're going to try to make the Legacy cards look like Modern cards. Is basically what it's coming down to. That's how this is going to go. Because otherwise they could have just given us the cards, but they didn't. They could have gave us Sneak Attack. They could have given. There's so many Legacy staples. It's never. And maybe one day, super deep in the future, they might give it to us, but they didn't. So, in my opinion, this is just going to strictly be. We're still going to be Modern. Modern is going to be Modern. I don't know if anyone's played Legacy before, but it does not look anything like Modern. Sean Ward with the super chat. In Modern, could you build around General Feroz Rokurik in Modern, or is it just a commander card? General, is it Feroz? General Frost Mercuric. I don't even know if you need to build around this too hard. Like, a lot of human decks. This is definitely a modern playable card. You know, you have to just vial this in, play a Meddling Mage, and boom! You have a 4/4 red and white Golem artifact creature token. And these Golems are just stupid enormous. Not to mention, you actually have Hexproof from most of the spells in the format. Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt, Lava Dart, Swords to not Swords to Plowshares, Path Exile, Skyclave Apparition. It's actually almost impossible to kill this. Who cares if it has 1 toughness? Anger the Gods. There's very few cards that actually kill this thing. Very, very few. I mean, you might not want to play against a Niv Mizzet deck, a Bring to Light deck, but for the most part, like, these are just... This card is very, very strong. You can expect this card could see some very serious modern play. Like in some sort of humans deck, for example. Do you think that Flame Blitz will cause a lot of damage to different decks? I don't know. We'll see how popular it is. Genlo loves the spice of Magic Ace. Jank is the best. Well, I mean, it's not all... He's not a bad deck builder. Like, he builds good Jank. And the thing is, once in a while, that Jank is very good. But it's also in the vein of, like, Saffron Olive. Saffron Olive also made some decks. Saffron Olive made the 8-whack deck that actually saw competitive play before. But, of course, Saffron Olive, for the 1 8-whack deck, made 99 random decks that never saw the day of light and couldn't hold the test of time at all. Magic Aids is much better. He builds like pretty competitive looking brews. Let's put it that way. He's a good deck builder. Even his take on the the Tybalt's Trickery thing was pretty good. Do you think Modern Horizons 2 is making... I think I went to answer this one. Your take on Black Lotus tokens? I think we could have Black Lotus tokens, and there's no reason to not have it. Spiring Spike is both funny and competitive. That's right. I would say, but his brews are not jank. He just goes straight. Okay, instead of making something goofy, let's just make something good in the first place. We know it's going to be good. He's a very talented player. Jose Sunstrom, after what's been spoiled, what else would you like for a Merfolk from Modern Horizons 2? Wouldn't mind Back to Basics, a Merfolk version of Reclamation Sage or a New Lord. I would love Back to Basics Merfolk. Give it to us. Modern Horizons 3. Maybe we're still getting it. Who knows? I would love a Back to Basics Merfolk. Give it to us. You have choke in the format, for crying out loud, and we need more hate against big mana. Soul Talisman helps turn 4 decks like Breach. It doesn't come out on turn 5. Soul. No, it does come out on turn 4. You're right. Soul Talisman helps turn 4 decks like Breach. No, I actually don't think so. I think you're better off with just Mana Rocks and just playing a control game. Because if you get this late in the game, it's really dead. It's like super dead. It's only good if you play it on turn 1. So I actually don't think Breach decks would like this card. Otherwise, Breach would play with, Lotus Bloom. But they don't play that card. Is Back to Nature worth playing in sideboards now that Enchantress is coming to Modern? You got to wait to see if... Well, I mean, the answer is yes. If Enchantress actually becomes a deck. We'll see what happens, though. Magus of the Bridge sucks. It's not nearly as good. I mean, the reason Bridge was Bridge from Below. The only reason this was ever a card is that you can just easily mill it into your graveyard and get value out of it. The fact that you have to actually cast this Magus of the Bridge, big deal. Hey, if they're bringing back maybe we'll get a Magus of the okay, it could be a Merfolk, Back to Basics Merfolk. Maybe we can get a Magus of the Back. Magus of the Back. Give it to us, Wizards. Just do it. Just do it. Do you think Heliod will get banned in Modern? I think they will ban Spike Feeder, but it could get banned. I am relatively confident something from that deck will get axed one day. One day. It's not a safe deck to get into. It's a very strong deck, but it's not a safe deck. And it's going to be very dangerous when we get back to Paper Magic. Shardless Agent seems great for humans. You get 2 bodies for 3 mana. I mean, yeah, but you can't cast it off a vial. So like, so you don't get the cascade trigger if you use your vial. That is really annoying. It's not. I mean, it might see play though. It might see play. But my problem is when you hit the cascade, your chances of hitting good value, I think, are weaker than usual. I'm not sure. Because the thing is, you have 4 Ether Vials in your deck, you have 4 Champions of the Perishes, and you have a bunch of... There's a lot of mediocre 2-drops, like between Kitesail Freebooter and Meddling Mage. Like, those aren't very good. Like, I don't know if that's the value that humans is looking for. You might hit Thou's Lieutenant. That's your best bet. But actually, there's just not a lot of things to get off of Shardless Agent in your humans deck. Just keep that in mind. You can't hit the 3-drops. So the stuff that you really want, like the Mantis Rider, Reflector Mage, that's you can't get that from Shardless Agent. And you've got to kick out one of those good 3-drops for Shardless Agent. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing? I don't know if a lot of people are willing to do that. Trevor says they wouldn't make a Black Lotus token or tokens of real cards. However, they've made Llanowar Elf and Cobalts of Care. Should they make tokens of Lotus and Mox? Yeah, but they made Llanowar Elf tokens. They didn't make the Llanowar Elf the card. So there was some examples where they said like they never made a Pack Rat token, even though Pack Rat makes an identical card to the card. So anyway, I think their story checks out, but you know, it's still a lame excuse. A lot of people would love Black Lotus token. How is Magus better than Kalitas? Trader of Get. It's 3 mana. Kalitas is 4. That can make a big difference. So will we see new full set of 5 Maguses? Maybe. Let's hope. Maybe there's a bunch of Maguses to be shown. That's a good point. Maybe we get a new 5 Maguses. Maybe we get 5 Maguses. What's the blue one gonna be? Please. Back to basics Magus. That would help so much. We're almost done with spoilers. What do I think of the set? I think it's going to completely rock Modern. Completely rock Modern. This is going to shake Modern way harder than Modern Horizons 1. Because after the bannings, after you banned Hogak and Mox Opal, things sort of went back to normal, in my opinion. Things sort of went back to normal. We got... Modern sort of went back to where it was before. But this, I think, is going to do permanent change. I think only the big mana decks are going to survive this. So we say Tron, Eldrazi-Tron, and Amulet. Those, I think, are the safest decks right now that can withstand all the change that's going to be coming here. And every other deck is going to get some sort of upgrade, and we don't know exactly where the positioning of all the decks are going to sit in the metagame when the dust settles. So this is like this is going to be huge, and it's probably going to be a long-lasting shakeup. But it might get some cards banned. We'll see. Is there a way to break Magus of the Bridge? Can we turn on its ability while in the graveyard? I mean, you're better off not even working for that. Probably. I mean, you probably just have to reanimate it somehow with maybe some other creatures. Hits Ren, both Teferis and Liliana the Veil. I'm assuming you're talking about the red creature. Yes, it hits all those things. Inevitable Betrayal, turn 1 with Gemstone Caverns and Electrodominance. Getting Emrakul Primetime will be crazy. Inevitable Betrayal, turn 1 with Gemstone Caverns. Oh, you want to cheat this thing into play. Oh, shit. It's not on the spoiler. So you want to do Gemstone Caverns, Electrodominance, get Emrakul Primetime. Yeah, but like, search target opponents. But there's no guarantee that they have it. So it's just like, you're just trying to get lucky that they have something good. You might as well just play something that can win the game. If you're going to go that far to like combo off, you might as well have an actual combo that can win the game by yourself. You think they'll reprint REB like Red Elemental Blast, Blue Elemental Blast, or Pyroblast in Modern Horizons 2? No. At this point, they very clearly are not giving us any of those legacy staples. They might give us a watered down one in the future. Like maybe we'll get in like sort of an evoke or a pitch card like card. You know what I mean? We might get something like that. Still waiting for a black prowess creature. Oh, interesting. There's no black prowess. Maybe not. Maybe not. Do you think Solitude will kill Death Shadow? No, not necessarily. Like, so here's the benefit. Like, finally, decks will have some answer to Death Shadow and they can tap out, and it exiles the Death Shadow, so you can't bring it back with Lurrus. On the other hand, it's card disadvantage. Like, don't underestimate how bad card disadvantage is in this matchup. Like, it's not. You want to keep a hold of all your cards against the Death Shadow deck. They're playing Thoughtseize. They're playing Inquisition of Kozilek. They're gonna see your Solitude before you can cast it. So. Anyway, it may not. It's probably a good tool in the matchup, but it might not end up being that good. Mega Rageman, which do you think will happen? Wizards of the Coast bans Ephemerate, or they change how Evoke works? They would ban the card. They would not change how Evoke works. So it's pointless. They try. Okay, this is very important. Evoke is not a new mechanic. It's old. Like, it's very, very old. And I think it works as you would expect. There's nothing to change here. And I think it very specifically says how Evoke works on a lot of other cards. So it's not something they would change. They're not going to tamper with that. They would just ban. They probably wouldn't even ban Ephemerate. They'll just ban the one Evoke creature that's abusing it. Because the other Evoke creatures don't matter. I think they're all garbage. Or the green one is pretty good. The green one's okay, but the green one you don't need to cheat and play. You just cast it for 3 mana, so it'll be totally fine. Won't Blitz still top the meta? You know what? Blitz, I think Solitude is... like, one card that Blitz should be very fearful of is Solitude. This is going to be so hard to play around. So here's the deal. Formerly, the Is It Prowess decks, what they could do is... well, what they did is if you tapped out... okay, it's time to go all in. But now if you do that, you all of a sudden get your creature, like, exiled. See, when you have a bunch of mana up, they're like, okay, I'm just going to attack with my creatures, hold my resources in hand, but now you can tap out versus the Prowess deck, and they have to be very fearful of this card. This card is going to really stop them in their tracks. This is going to be this is a big addition to Modern to fight back against Is It Prowess. It's a huge addition. It's a very, very strong card. Not to mention, you know, it's a flash lifelinker in itself. So, like, I mean, if you can just get onto the battlefield alive and gain some life, it would be useful. Oh, Solitude is not card disadvantage against Death Shadow. Target one, others die. That's actually a great point, Francisco. That is an amazing point. So this is actually going to be... well, but still, the Death Shadow player is going to see it in your hand, so you still have to top deck it. But a good point. You know, you exile a Death Shadow, you probably kill Scourge of the Skyclaves, or kill Scourge of the Skyclaves, kill everybody else. Because they gain the life. It's funny. It's funny how Swords to Plowshares would really change Death Shadow. I mean, it would almost nuke it by itself if you put Swords to Plowshares in Modern. But anyway, point is, but anyway, my point is, like, against Is It Blitz, they're gonna be very fearful of this card, and maybe fearful of a bunch of other cards that are gonna be coming out. But, like, that is a very good one against them. It's a huge beating. They're gonna absolutely not like it at all. Are there any playable cards, says Chris Ross, that can bring back cards exiled or removed from play? If so, Evoke would be better. Are there any playable cards that can bring back cards exiled or removed from play? There are cards, there are cards that, like, if a creature, like, left the battlefield this turn, return it back to the battlefield, but that's a good question. I don't know what those cards are, though. Basic Magus. Sounds like a good name. Okay, I think Q&A has run its course, and you know what time it is, people. It's time for Decklist review time. That's right. That's what you all came here for. So, if you want to join Decklist Review, want to submit a deck list to the show, go into my description. Go join my Discord. In my Discord, there is a channel called Decklist Review. In Decklist Review, enter the command !review deck space, give the URL to your deck list, and you will be eligible at random to be chosen for deck list review. Don't worry about the queue thing. It says you have a position. The position means nothing. Just a reminder to everyone, you only have to submit your deck list once a week. I'm going to clear the queue on Fridays from now on. So you can submit your deck list on Monday, and it will still be eligible on Thursday. Though if you ever get chosen, then you're out of the queue. Just a heads up. You can also replace your submitted list with a new one by just submitting it again, and it just replaces your old one. Yes, it is sponsor time. Guess what our sponsors are? Fusion Gaming Online. Look, Sword and Shield, Chilling Rain. What is this, Pokemon? I don't know anything about it. The deal of the week this week, though, plus 35% trade-in bonus. So if you sell your cards to Fusion Gaming Online, they love cards. They want all your cards. You'll get 35% extra if you take store credit. Also, this is the place to get all your Modern Horizons 2 sealed product, and I think we can we pre-order singles yet? Oh, excellent. Pre-order the single. $5. Wow, this is out of stock, but the extended border is still, well, if you ever need a card, you just wish list it. It'll come back. That's what they do here at Fusion Gaming Online. When you pre-order your cards or your booster boxes and all that, don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout. It supports the channel, and it gets you 5% off. So, who doesn't like free value? And Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. And oh my god, this is going to be so important when Modern Horizons 2 comes out. There's going to be so many different deck lists to choose from and to play test. You can support the channel by using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 15% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu. Jake the Snake says, bought my Modern Horizons 2 bought Modern Horizons 2 for $230, already wishing I bought 2 at that price. I think they undervalued the boxes. You got a good deal. We'll just say that you got a really good deal. All right. Okay, so let's go do some deck list review. Okay, I'll give Dan W a second to resubmit, because apparently it doesn't always submit all the time. You gotta resubmit it. Oh, I see the problem. Dan, you put a space between your exclamation point. You can't do that. Don't put any space. No spaces. There you go, Dan. You did it. All right. Good luck, everyone. Oh, Cardinal, you pressed enter. You're just supposed to use space. I don't know how clear I can be. Exclamation point, review deck, space, give URL to your deck list, press enter. That's how you do it. That's how you'll submit it. So I suggest card X or ordinal resubmitted without the pressing enter. Yeah, you're on the case. There you go. You did it. I see it. Cardinal did it. Shoot. Okay, hold on. We have a deck list from Moxfield. Which is not a problem. Is it really gone? I'm getting a 404. How do I clear cookies? Okay, I need some help here. This has happened before. How do I clear cookies here? We got bad cookies. Bad cookies. If I clear the cookies, I can see this. I don't remember how to clear the cookies, though. Control F5. Cookies are gone. Hold on. The cookies are gone. Now let's press this. Oh, there's got to be another way. I didn't. Maybe that is the way you clear the cookies. Or this link is just bad. Go to settings? Where? I know I need to take them out of the oven. Right click, refresh arrow, tell it to refresh cache. I don't have that option. Control Shift Delete. That is not how you do it. Oh, the link just says 404. Well, it does. Oh, okay. Is it? It's just a bad link? Maybe it's just a bad link. Up in the left corner of the browser. I don't understand. Refresh arrow up in the left. Well, that's not how you. Oh, you want me to? Oh, pin, remove toolbar, menu. I don't see any. This is okay. This is Mozilla Firefox. This is Mozilla Firefox for anyone who doesn't know. I don't think this is working. Hold on. Let's go. Let's just go to Moxfield. Period. Can I get there at all? I can. Okay, I think that one DAC was just bad because I can get anywhere else. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Okay, everyone else is getting the same message. Okay, we're gonna have to move on. Sometimes people send me bad links. Control Shift Delete. Control. Oh. Time range to clear. Let's get rid of all the cookies. All the cookies. Goodbye, cookies. Let's just have these things. Oops. Oh, and I still have this link. Can we get there now? No, it's still bad. It was just a bad link. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Okay, Striker. Congratulations, Striker. You're the next contestant on Decklist Review. Selesnya Toski. Okay, we've got Elvish Mystic, Jaspera Sentinel. Hold on, what's the format? It's Pioneer. Okay, keep that in mind. Toski is legal in Pioneer. It is absolutely legal. We have no description, no sideboard. Who cares? So we have a Pioneer deck. Elvish Mystic, Jaspera Sentinel, Reach, 1/2 creature, tap an untapped creature you control, add 1 mana of any color. It seems like a high cost. Llanowar Elves, Thraben Inspector, Clarion Spirits. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Voice of Resurgence, Elite Spellbinder, Lovestruck Beast. This is pretty neat. Can't attack unless you control a 1/1 creature, but this is not a 1/1 creature. Do you really need the white mana? Voice of Resurgence, Elite Spellbinder, Lovestruck Beast, Tireless Tracker, Toski. You need the white mana maybe for Secure the Waste, Court of Calling. What is this for? Oh, I guess to find the Toski. Branch Loft Pathway. Pathway, 3 planes. Sunpetal Grove. Okay, how many things can you play on turn 1? You can play 14 green sources turn 1. That's excellent. How many white sources do you have? You have 4, 7, 11, 15. That is also pretty excellent. Yeah, a lot of 1/2s. I don't think this Jaspera Sentinel is necessary. I think you could... Maybe it's okay. I think you should just have more Elvish Mystics, because if you have more Elvish Mystics, you'll enable your what's it called, Lovestruck Beast. I also might like Lovestruck Beast more than, well, it's okay. You have a good balance of stuff. Don't you want some emblem effects? Maybe not necessarily. They're just gonna go wide. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. That's just gas. Historic's probably more powerful. Just get to jam random stuff in there. This deck needs Coco? Well, it's like it doesn't have that. I mean, I guess it has a decent chunk of creatures, but a lot of the creatures are garbage, so it's not really that great of a Coco deck. I mean, if you were much more top heavy with Elite Spellbinder, Lovestruck Beast, I could understand, but outside of that, I don't think it needs Coco. Because most of the time you're going to hit like an Elvish Mystic or a Sentinel or a Llanowar Elf or something like that. I'm just going to change the song because I don't really like this last one. I'm getting tired of it. So I only have like one suggestion. That is replace the Jaspera Sentinel with the Elvish Mystic, so that you have more 1/1s for the Lovestruck Beast. That is not a really strong opinion, though, given that, I mean, it's just 2 cards. Maybe you need the white mana for any of these cards. It's just that if you play this on turn 1, you like it's not really mana ramp because you have to tap an untapped creature you control to get mana, so you can't play your 3-drops on turn 2. Like, you can't play Tireless Tracker, Lovestruck Beast, or Elite Spellbinder off of Jaspera Sentinel, but you can cast all of these off of Elvish Mystic and Llanowar Elves. Pendelhaven's not legal in Pioneer. This is a Pioneer card. No Skyclave. That could be for a sideboard, though. Maybe it's slightly budget. If we look at the deck, it's not super expensive. It's like in the $200-ish range, and also 40 ticks online. Selfless Spirit's not a bad idea. That could also be a sideboard card. Or it could be replace maybe some of the Clarion. This makes tokens. Maybe it's better than Voice of Resurgence? Like, Voice of Resurgence is a good card. It makes tokens, but your opponent has to play into it. I'm all for making a ton of mana, playing a Secure the Way. I don't know if... Honestly, I don't know if Chord of Calling fits this deck very well. I guess, though, your payoff is Toski, and you need it consistently. And you can consistently get it off of a Chord of Calling. The 1/1 dork that adds white instead of... Oh! That is a great idea. What is that? Elvish... Oh. Something Druid. Yeah, what's the one mana dork that adds white mana? That's a great idea. Well, Voice of Resurgence is in this deck. Avacyn's Pilgrim. It's not legal. You kidding me? It's not legal in Pioneer. Wow, that is crazy. You know, if someone played this thing against me in a Pioneer event, I would not think about that. It feels like it got reprinted, but it's been reprinted in all these stupid specialty products. Mystery Booster, Modern Masters 2017, Magic Online promo, Friday Night Magic promo. Yeah, this is from Innistrad. Venerated Loxodon is a great card, actually. I think that could be... that is definitely worth it in this deck. It might be worth it even more than Secure the Way. So let's get Venerated Loxodon. It's actually one of my favorite cards to put in a green-white tokens deck, because it's a pretty big creature by itself, and you buff up your entire board. There's a new SCG spoiler? Okay, we'll check it out in a second. Yeah, it's too bad it wasn't legal. It would have been perfect. Decklist was good as it was, though. So this is a good card. I don't know what you want to take out for this card. To be honest, I mean, Elite Spellbinder has... I mean, it's interactive, but it has no synergy with the deck. I don't really want to say I want to take it out, because I don't like to Goldfish that much. I might even have a 4th Elite Spellbinder in here, even though it doesn't have much other synergy with the deck. Like, I might take out a Voice of Resurgence. You know, give yourself more of a payoff for having a Mana Dork on turn 1. Go into Elite Spellbinder, interact with your opponent's hand. Legion's Landing is actually difficult for this deck to play, because you need to go turn 1 planes. This deck is more leaning on Mana Dorks. Loxodon is a non-bow with Lovestruck Beast? Why? Oh, you're right. So it's one or the other. This is a good point. Well, this deck only has 2 Lovestruck Beast. Maybe consider changing that with Venerated Loxodon. Deathrite's legal in Pioneer, but you can't add mana with it. Because there's no it's not many fetch lands in Pioneer. I would just say a tokens deck really likes Venerated Loxodon. It has really good synergy. So maybe I would consider playing that over Lovestruck Beast. It's a big creature, but let's be honest, this is also a big creature. It's also a 4/4 creature that can get cast for potentially just 1 mana. Whereas the Lovestruck Beast demands to have a 1/1 creature out, or it can't do anything. Giant Killer would be fantastic in the sideboard. This deck just has no sideboard at the moment. Is a Boreal Grazer good as turn 1 ramp? I think you want the mana out of it. This is not really a ramping deck. It only has 20 lands, so like you might only have 2 lands in your hand, and that's it. And that's as much as you're going to ramp. If your deck has tons of lands in it, you might want to go that direction. Overall, like the deck is pretty clean. Like there's not a whole lot of changes. I would actually strongly consider playing the Venerated Loxodon over Lovestruck Beast. I would play one more Elite Spellbinder, and I would still take out the Jaspera Sentinel and add the Elvish Mystics. I think you have enough white mana that you'll have you'll get your second white source on turn 2 for Clarion Spirit and Voice of Resurgence. Thraben Inspector is mostly going to be a turn 2, turn 3 play in combination with something else anyway. I don't think you'll get this out on turn 1 the way you've built your deck. And I don't think you need to. This actually doesn't really have much synergy with your deck. Maybe you should consider switching this for something else. Maybe one of these could be an Elite Spellbinder, and a few more of these could be like Venerated Loxodon. Blue-Red Finisher might have got a huge... Okay, we're going to check it out. Anyway, thank you very much for submitting the list. I hope some of that feedback was helpful. I hope Blue-Red Prowse didn't get shit. Okay, apparently, there's still got some good stuff to preview in Modern Horizons 2. Magus of the Bridge just revealed. And now we got Murktide Regent, a 7-mana 3/3 with Delve. Flying, Murktide Regent enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each instant and sorcery card exiled with it. Whenever an instant or sorcery card leaves your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Murktide Regent. +1/+1 counter on it for each instant and or sorcery card exiled with it. I think they already have finishers. I don't think this is that great. Grixis Shadow here. Maybe this is for Grixis Shadow. I think for Izzet Prowess, they don't want to change any of their cards. This is just way too clunky. Because what it does is it forces them to cast all their spells, and then they got to delve it away. And also, it's just vulnerable to Graveyard Hate. But this thing, it might be a better card than like Gurmag Angler and Grixis. Maybe. I mean, it looks playable. Like, I'm not going to say this card is garbage, but it needs to go in the right deck. Yeah, like maybe it goes into Grixis control. It still dies to a lot of stuff. I'm just glad anger is not illegal in Modern. So anyway, I think it's playable. It's not going to go in Izzet Prowess, though, or I'd be very surprised that they would want to change any of their creatures for this creature, because I think they're already playing with good creatures. Okay, we'll go through one more deck list review. One more list and deck list review. Sid Troy, congratulations! You're the next contestant on on deck list review. So to say, like Modern Horizons 2 review. Okay, we got Modern Horizons 2 Jund Company. All right, let's see how this works out. A single Dryad Arbor, a Gilded Goose, Ignoble Hierarch, Young Wolf, Blood Artist, Hapatra Vizier of Poisons, Strangleroot Geist. Well, this is not Jund, right? This is just Jund Yawgmoth. This is the misleading name. I thought this was going to be a mid-range deck. So, okay, this is Jund Yawgmoth. Do we need the Recruiter? Search your library for a creature card. Power 2 or less, reveal it, put into your hand. Is it better than just tutoring it into play, though? Mayhem Devil. Whenever a player sacrifices a permanent, deals 1 damage to any target. That's a neat. I think you should still have 4 Yawgmoth in this deck. I mean, this is still the soul of the deck. Then you have Grist, the Hunger Tide. I mean, it's hard to tell how well this deck is going to play out. But okay, one thing I don't like is that you're playing with a lot of what are the sack outlets here? Gilded Goose. How do we sack stuff? Hapatra. Mayhem Devil. Do we only sacrifice things through Yawgmoth? Grist. I guess maybe that's enough. Yeah, all hail Yawgmoth. I think this it's just that when you're playing with Eldritch Evolution, the original Yawgmoth list, like you get that bonus out of your Young Wolf. Like that's a point of playing Young Wolf. A point of playing with Geralf's Messenger. Imperial Recruiter looks really clunky in this deck. It just looks really, really clunky. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe you can be, like, more grindy. Well, yeah, it gets Recruiter, but also Eldritch Evolution also gets Recruiter. Also gets Yawgmoth. Recruiter gets Yawgmoth, but you know also gets Yawgmoth? Eldritch Evolution. That's the point of playing the deck like this. The initial cost of casting, you sack a creature, and you just put this creature into play. Like I think that's the soul to playing with these Undying creatures. So now it's just weird to have Undying creatures. I mean, yeah, you can combo off with Yawgmoth, but you know, you're missing some synergy here. It just makes me wonder if we're not playing with Eldritch Evolution, is there a better way to combo off with this thing? Maybe not. Maybe still just play with Young Wolf and Geralf's Messenger. Because now, instead of directly finding these things, you're just sort of loosely finding these things. I don't like. I mean, just it's good to find that you can find Grist. I like that, but I don't know if the rest of this deck is the best Collected Company deck. This is not a very good Collected Company deck, because in this type of deck, you need to, like, this is why you've got one-ofs, because you need to directly find those one-ofs when you need them. That's why we got one of Blood Artist, one of Hapatra. So you took a deck that tutors, and then you threw Collected Company in it. And like, yeah, I understand you can Imperial Recruiter for it, but that's not good value when you need to win on that turn. Like, you might need to win immediately, but you're gonna play Imperial Recruiter. You're gonna find the answer, and then you have to play it. Why not include Cat Oven Engine? Because that's not the general engine for this type of deck. So I think you got, like, it. Well, I mean, it is tempo loss, but like you might just lose on that turn because you weren't fast enough. Like, it's value, because the thing is this. I mean, if this is value, well, why don't we play a different value type of deck? Why does it have to be this combo deck? Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. But this is my fears when you build the deck like this. Like, is there any way to find these one-ofs? The answer is no. Destroy target creature. I mean, the only way you can find the one-ofs is through Imperial Recruiter. I guess maybe this is good enough. You know what? Try it out. See what happens. But I think there might be a better use. I mean, I like the combination of Collected Company and Grist. That is a good idea. Like, this is definitely a great way to abuse Grist. You can Collected Company this Planeswalker into play. I'm all for that. I'm all for the Ignoble Hierarch. But if you're gonna play a value deck, I mean, I might as well. I would assume that you should just play a value deck. These are just my thoughts. This is more at a philosophical point of view, because the rest of the deck is totally fine in terms of numbers. I think the numbers are good. Your mana base is good. Everything else looks good. I just hope that I just don't know if this is the best Collected Company deck. Is just all I'm getting at. There are some things I like you Collected Company to. I think it's really cool you can Collected Company into Geralf's Messenger and Grist. And even Imperial Recruiter. Like, that can be fine too. I'm assuming Eldritch Evolution is better. And also, there's nothing wrong with the original build. But whatever. Let's see what happens with this deck. Let's see what happens. Sometimes Imperial Recruiter, you can just ETB, block something, and then, you know, you already got your card. And then, I mean, it can, like I said, it can be used to, like, stall and then you play the card that you actually fetched for. Well, there's some interaction, like with Mayhem Devil. I think that's the idea. But unfortunately, this is one of the cards you cannot get with Imperial Recruiter. Sadly enough. You also can't get Drawless Messenger off of Imperial Recruiter. What the hell can you get off of this thing? You can get all the other smaller pieces. Yeah, you can get all the smaller pieces and a Yawgmoth. I don't know. This is not even the best Imperial Recruiter deck. Like, these are your some of the 2 best cards that you want in your deck, and you can't get them. You also can't get Grist. I would rethink the Imperial Recruiter tech. I would rethink the Imperial Recruiter tech. I think there's something between Imperial... I think there's something between Collected Company, Grist, Imperial Recruiter, Ignoble Hierarch, but I don't know if it's the Yawgmoth package, if you know what I mean. Oh, you can get Grist as well. You know what? You're right. You can get Grist. It's a 1/1. It's a 1/1 insect. Okay, you got that. You got that going for it. And then you can sack the Imperial Recruiter. So there actually is some good synergy here, because you can find the Grist, and you can sack the Imperial Recruiter, which is useless to kill another creature. Recruiter does grab Grist. It's an insect. It's a 1/1 insect. My brain is just running out of gas. Okay, thank you very much for submitting the list. Okay, someone said that there's one more spoiler. Oh, maybe we'll check it out before the day's over. Not posted on Magic Spoiler, though, so we're going to have to wait till tomorrow. All right, so that's going to be it for Coffee and MTG for today. As usual, if you want to see the replays to any of this, go check out my alternate YouTube channel, Nikachumtg Streams. If I didn't get your comments, questions, or deck list, we do this Monday to Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. If you love Coffee and MTG and you'd love to support it in some way and you are not already, you can leave a sub at twitch.tv. You could become a patron. What did I click? You can leave a sub at twitch.tv/NikachuMTG. You can become a patron at patreon.com, or you can hit the join button on YouTube. These are all reliable ways of supporting the channel. Some people are going sleep for the day. That's all good. So thank you very much, everyone, joining me for these Modern Horizons 2 spoilers. And we have one more day to go. Let's see what Wizards throws at us at the very last day of spoilers. The last kick to a completely brand new Modern. And apparently these cards are released on Thursday. We'll see what's going to happen. So keep brewing up those coffees, and we'll keep brewing up Magic. See you guys next time.